Ahoy, Minnetonka! I'm JacQui Getty, Executive Director of Communications for Minnetonka Schools and host of Season 3 of our district podcast, Ahoy, Minnetonka. One of the many areas where our students and staff excel is in how they serve their communities and contribute to the greater good of society. Joining me today are two students, Brooklyn and Jane, who have made volunteering in their community a huge priority in their lives, and our coordinator of Tonka Serves, who helps to connect students with volunteer and service learning opportunities, Sarah Johnson. Thank you to each of you for being here. We'd love to hear a little bit more about each one of you. Sarah, do you want to start?
Sure, I'd love to start. Again, my name's Sarah Johnson, and I am the Community Service Specialist for Minnetonka Public Schools. This is my 5th year in the role, but much of my history and work has been in nonprofit-oriented work, bringing that history to working with students and families and kind of acting as a resource for them to get connected to volunteer opportunities. I've lived in the district for 20 years. I've had 2 children who have graduated from the Minnetonka Public Schools. Was always a really active parent as well. So it's been a wonderful way for me to have the perspective of as a parent, as somebody who's worked in nonprofit events, development, and volunteer work, and then coordinating such great resources and opportunities here at Minnetonka Public Schools.
We're really lucky to have you, and we'll dig into more of your role kind of as we talk today. Thanks, Sarah. Jane.
Yeah, so I'm Jane Kuslik. I'm a junior here at Minnetonka, and I'm one of the co-presidents of Interact Club. I'm also involved, I play softball for the high school team in the spring, and I've gone to Minnetonka my whole life, starting kindergarten, and my sister graduated last year. She's now at Gustavus, and yeah, I've just always been part of the community.
Fantastic. Brooklyn.
Yeah, so I'm Brooklyn DeLuca. I'm a junior, and like Jane said, I'm also the co-president of Interact. I've been in Minnetonka since kindergarten, so I've really been part of the community. And also my sister, she just graduated 2 years ago, and she's at the University of Iowa. So yeah.
Well, thanks, ladies, for being here, all of you. Recently, Sarah, the district held its Celebration of Service, which I know you spearhead every year. It is a lot of work. It's an event where we honor students and the adults with the thousands of hours of service work that they do in our communities. Can you tell us some of the highlights of the program?
Sure, it's such a wonderful annual event. As you said, it's a way for us to acknowledge and recognize some wonderful work that's being done out in the community. We have students as young as 5-6 years old each year being recognized, upwards to the adults and groups that are being recognized. The event kind of focuses on recognizing 2 different awards that we give out to folks. We have the President's Volunteer Service Award, which is a national award that we recognize. And again, that award lets us recognize individuals as young as 5 years old, and then through adulthood. We also recognize the Varsity Letter winners that are actually the Varsity Letter winners in community service here at Minnetonka High School. So that's a unique program to our school. Not many high schools offer that, but those are the 2 awards that we look at recognizing during the event. We've had so many wonderful stories come out of these events, just looking at the thousands, as you say, thousands of hours of service that students and their parents give to the community and the world, and lots of great ways that they've given back. And you know, we've got young folks that have been spending hours every week. I mean, we had one student this year who's not even 10 years old that goes to a senior residence every week, helps with bingo and acts as the candy man, gives out candy to the winners of bingo. Just so fantastic. Lots of students doing work out in, packing food for those who are food insecure, which we'll talk about, I'm sure, later. And then just working as tutors, working in healthcare centers. There's lots of ways that our students are giving back. So it's just a fantastic evening, wonderful way for us to highlight that, and such a privilege to be a part of it.
What does it take to letter in community service?
Lettering in community service is really, it is pretty extensive, and one of the ways that we look at this is, acknowledging servitude in the varsity letter is really kind of comparing it to the kind of depth that we would look at any varsity letter. And one of the things that I love about this district is that we are recognizing, outside of just athletics and music, ways that people are contributing, because it takes a huge commitment to meet those requirements, and also in servitude it does too. So few different things that we look at in terms of the requirements. We look at the hours of service. Students who are interested in that need to have accumulated 150 hours within a year's time. They need to have 75% of those hours kind of related to a certain topic or an area. So maybe it's working with children, or maybe it's food insecurity. You know, it's something, it's up to them. It's about their passion and what's drawing them to volunteer work.
The kind of focused.
Yes, a focused service work. We require 2 recommendations from individuals who have had connections with them while they're doing their service work. And we also require a reflection project. So the reflection project really is about really highlighting the ways that you've grown when you've been volunteering. It may be challenges you've had, skills that you've learned. And so students can write papers, they can develop projects, or they can interview with me, and that's a wonderful way for me to kind of get a sense of what they've done, and just a fabulous way to get to know students. I learn so much when I get to meet them, but again, fabulous way to acknowledge students who have really committed a lot of time to serving the greater good.
Do we have a lot of students that letter each year?
We do. We have about 40 students at least, sometimes upwards of 60. Wow. So, you know, that's a lot of students giving a lot of hours. 150 hours is a lot of time. So
it absolutely is.
So, and then again, that has to be accumulated within 1 year. So
thank you.
Yeah.
Brooklyn and James, you are both super active volunteers as members of the Interact Club at the school, and I understand that's a service club. Can you talk a little bit more about what Interact is?
Yeah, so Interact, we are a volunteer-based club, and if you ever heard of Rotary International, we are the high school division of that. So Rotary is a worldwide volunteer-based club for adults, and so Interact is just the high school division of that. So on Thursday mornings, we host various volunteer opportunities where we usually have around 30 plus kids come, and we'll do activities such as tie blankets or packing activity packs for the Ronald McDonald House, and every spring we make sandwiches for the Sandwich Man that is handed out to people that are in need of food just around the cities.
What is tie blankets?
So that's, you get like the fabric, and so 2 sheets of fabric, and then you cut little slits, and then you tie them together, and we make blankets. And I think we just gave them to Children's Hospital, right? Yeah. So
just a couple weeks ago.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah.
So have you been involved with this your whole time in high school, or when did Interact come to be?
So our sisters actually started the food shelf. So they graduated, my sister graduated in 2024, hers in 2025. So they kind of helped curate the food shelf. And that's kind of how we both got introduced to the club, through our sisters.
So the food shelf, tell me about that, because I don't think we've mentioned that yet.
So every Wednesday after school, a few of our members gather at the food shelf inside the high school, and we pack food for people in need. And we have an anonymous system where you can fill out a Google form, and that way it keeps it very discreet. So they fill out the food, and then we go on the food shelf and we pack it, and then every Thursday morning they come to pick it up at the main entrance.
So the Interact students run the food shelf in the high school?
Yes, yeah.
And is that all on your own, or is there a larger food shelf that you're connected to, or how does this work?
Well, we are a division of ICA, so we can get a food shipped to us if we are in need of it. But from funds we get from grants and other places like the Booster Club, we use that money to help stock our food shelf too.
And so if you get items donated to the club that need to be refrigerated, or that don't really fit the needs of students and families that would normally order food anonymously through your site, you circle back with ICA Food Shelf? Is that how that works?
Yes.
And then they'll come and pick it up? And
At our food shelf, we have like a little truck outside that's an ICA truck, so all the food that we don't use at the food shelf goes to them. So yeah.
That's great. Well, we hear a lot about food insecurity. We hear that there are greater needs in our community. We've heard that from ICA. We've heard that from other food shelves in the area. So you are having an upcoming event. Talk about that.
So Saturday the 22nd from 10 to 1, we are having a food drive at the high school. We'll be in the Art Center. So you'll drive around the main lot and stop your car right outside the Art Center doors, and then we'll come out and we'll grab the food from your car and bring it inside. So it's easy, just drop it off if you're able to. We'll be there for 3 hours. Yep.
Yeah.
What are the kinds of things that are needed most right now?
So right now, I would say like canned chicken, canned tuna, definitely proteins. I think like the rice and noodle meal packs is really good. Protein drinks are always good too.
Yeah.
That don't need to be refrigerated?
Right.
Or?
Everything needs to be shelf stable. So cans are great. We love having hygiene products available because we have a section of that on our form too.
So not just food.
Right.
No, we do. Hygiene products, cleaning products are great too. We would love sprays or disinfectant like Clorox wipes. We also take batteries. That's helpful.
Paper products?
We do have paper towels and toilet paper.
And
so yes.
And those are needs?
Yes.
What about like diapers or things for babies?
Yes, we have baby wipes, diapers, feminine products, all of those kind of things too.
Yes.
Is this the first year of the food drive?
We've done food drives I think a couple years in the past. We did one last year that was very successful, so we've kind of got our flow down, you know. But we've been able to be really successful with our food drives. Oh, and we also love getting backpacks too in our food drive, because one of the options on our form, you can opt for a cardboard box, a cardboard or paper bag, or backpacks. So for students picking up food during the school day, to have a little more confidentiality, they can opt for a backpack option, because no one's going to question you if you have 2 backpacks with you. So just something to keep it more private for them too. So backpacks are a great donation we accept too.
So you talked about confidentiality and it being anonymous. You talked about this being mostly focused for students and for their families.
Yes.
How does it work? Walk me through the process. I'm a student. We have some food insecurity at home. I'd like to bring home some food items. What do I do?
So there are QR codes listed all around the schools. I'm pretty sure there's one in pretty much every classroom. So students can scan that, or just we have like posters in like the hallways as well. So you can get information that way. You scan it and then it takes you directly to a Google form. Like I mentioned, you can fill out the food, and at the end of the form you have like a 6-digit number, and we take that number, we put it on a sticker, and then we put on like the bag or the backpack. So that way they know their code and they know which one is theirs, and it keeps it very seamless.
Yeah, so you can essentially grocery shop throughout the form. So you'll tell us a little about your family. So how many people are you?
But not name.
No names.
Correct, yeah.
So how many people in your family, 5 plus, 4, whatever, the option of what bag you'd like it in. Then we kind of go through like canned fruits and vegetables, meats, snacks, hygiene products, cleaning supplies, and you kind of work your way down the Google form and just click out the ones you like, and then we look at that in our order and we grab out those items and put it into their bags. Yeah.
And then when do you pack it? When do they pick it up? How do they know where to pick it up?
So we pack every Wednesday after school, and there is a location on the Google form that tells you where to go to pick up your food. So you can just stop by over there and grab your food throughout the day.
And you have a number, and you find the number on the bag.
And it'll say like 1 of 2, 2 of 2, so that you make sure you get all your bags. And then in the summer, we change our location so that we can still do the food shelf throughout the whole year.
Right. Yeah.
Is this mostly geared to students then? Like students are the liaison to their family. So if they, is this them filling it out, or do parents also fill this out?
It's a mixture, I would say. We definitely have a few families that are not connected to the school, but in like the greater community, I would say. And then we do have some students, but again, it's confidential, so we don't really know. But it definitely, I would say, is a mixture.
Yeah, we get a mixture of backpack orders and bag orders every week.
So if it is a parent, is it in a site where they can come in and get it pretty readily?
Yes, yeah.
Do we ask if it's a student or a parent, or we don't know? Yeah.
We have no information on
What a
that.
great process. And so how many families do you usually, or I guess customers, do you serve each, say, week?
Sometimes it can range. So sometimes we'll have 2 to 3 orders. Sometimes we can be anywhere to 5 or more. Like last 2 weeks ago, I think we had 6 orders. But we usually steady around the 3 to 4 mark. I'd say.
And any other details I think that people should know about either the Interact Club or the food drive? Are you looking for members if you're talking to the student body?
Yeah. Well, yeah, we'd always looking for
members.
Yeah.
And then is it all types of kids? Like, you don't have to do this every week. It's
Right,
when you can make it. And
yeah, there's no like huge commitment. It's kind of show up when you can. We would love to have you, just whenever it works for you.
It's a great way to get volunteer hours too.
that's awesome. And Sarah, talking back about volunteer hours, how do you find volunteer opportunities for students? I serve in the communications role, and so we meet monthly as part of the PTO and PTA leaders group, and Sarah's always there representing Tonka Serves and talks to the leaders all the time about connecting high school students back with the elementaries. So talk about that too, like how do projects come in and then how do you connect them with students?
Sure, I can talk first about how I work with partners, nonprofit partners, and one of my jobs really is to make connections with them regularly, so I know if they have needs, they have special events they need help with, there's some acute need where they really could use a few volunteers to come in. So I'm talking with them all the time, emailing, visiting, and they know they have my contact information. So on a weekly basis, I'm getting 2 or 3 different leads on some new opportunities.
Is it usually like, I need one volunteer or I need a whole group?
It varies. So, depending on the ask, I will reach out to students versus Schoology in email form. I will reach out to clubs and let them know about an opportunity if it's a big group of people that they need. So I'm constantly working with nonprofit partners. We have volunteer fairs twice a year too, so we bring in 30 plus volunteer organizations or nonprofits to be face-to-face with students.
At MHS?
At a MHS. And then after that, I usually take all of the information that I've gathered, I put it into different formats that really speaks to age-appropriate kind of groups of students. So kind of communicating that information to elementary students and their families, middle school, and then high school students.
So why do you think service learning is so important? Why is that such an important tenet for Minnetonka schools? And as a parent of kids that were in the district, as now a staff member overseeing this work?
Yeah, I know that volunteering is so important, right? It is a part of being a good citizen. It's a part of learning, growing, maturing, and being in a community, right? So I am so blessed here to have a community within the public school district that values that and has for years. Creating this role to make sure that students learn how to give back, to understand how to be empathetic, to be a good citizen. So there are so many benefits to volunteering. So we already know that you develop confidence, new skills, you're part of a community. So those are definitely the benefits of volunteering, and I try to express that as much as I can. And I think students know that once you start, you really learn that almost immediately what the benefits are. You feel better about yourself, you feel better about what you're doing for the community. So certainly the value is there, and the district realizes that. So coordinating those kinds of efforts and the resources and making the connections for students is such a gift to me, but also I think students see the benefit right away.
Ladies, you must be very proud carrying on the legacy that your sisters started together and that you get to continue on. Sarah talked a lot about some of the benefits that she sees, and we see it from an adult perspective. As students actively involved in this kind of work, what are the benefits? What are the things that you just feel good about or that you get to experience or that you've made connections with?
I think for me, I just really like being able to see something I'm doing is helping someone else. So for when I pack my food shelf orders, I get to see that the next week I come back, they were gone and they were picked up by someone, which makes me feel so good about myself. And it also makes me feel good when I get to start my day off for our Thursday meetings and we're starting our day off doing something good. It just puts you in a good mind space for the rest of the day.
Yeah, kind of what Jane said. I really just like being a part of the community. And when you like start your day doing something good, I think it sets you up for the rest of your day. It makes you feel better while benefiting others. I think that's a really great thing to do. Yeah.
That's fantastic. Was volunteering always a part of your families? Is this something that was instilled in you from a young age?
Well, my dad is part of Rotary, so he joined a few years ago, so that kind of introduced me into the volunteering aspect. I would go to the bell ringing for Salvation Army with him, which I always found so fun. So that was kind of like my introduction into volunteering, and I've also done a lot of volunteer work with the MGSA Little Kids Softball Association, where I've helped with like hanging up banners for the sponsorship. So I've always kind of been around volunteering, but it's nice that I'm in high school now. I can kind of pick my organization I want to be a part of and really see how it can grow.
Fantastic. Brooklyn, how about you?
Yeah, I've done Feed My Serving Children with different teams. My family has always helped out around the holidays and year round and stuff like that. But I would say definitely having a passion kind of in high school really helped me increase my volunteer experience, I think, and that really helped me to do that.
Fantastic. Sarah, what are the interests that people have to volunteer? I mean, you can volunteer if you love pets, you can volunteer if you love the outdoors.
Yeah, and kind of to speak to what you just said is that for me, when I'm meeting with students, I always talk about what are you interested in? What are your hobbies? What are the things that really make you feel good, or what do you like to do? Is it nature? Are you passionate about the environment or about animals? There is something out there for everybody, and that's one of the fun parts about my job, because I sit down with high school students a lot to talk about that. Talk about, gosh, what would be a good thing for me to do? I'm interested in volunteering. I just don't know where to start. That's where we usually start. We talk about what your hobbies are, what you like to do, what you're willing to try. And a lot of times that's also something, like something new can be really rejuvenating for a lot of students. So, and that goes with families too, because I have a lot of conversations. Obviously, if you have young children, you may not know, gosh, what could I do with my kids when they're 5, 6, and 7 years old? And we talk a lot about, the things that you can do at home, or the things that you could, tag along with your parent and ring the bell, or kind of do something in a nonprofit or outdoor setting that might be really helpful. So that's the way that I typically will lead conversations, but it's always a rich experience just because we get to learn a lot about each other and kind of connect with whatever your passion or hobby is.
And then one last plug for your food drive before we go. We're kind of running out of time, but just one more reminder from either one of you: time, place, and most needed items.
Yeah, so it's Saturday, November 22nd from 10 to 1. And I would say most needed things are definitely hygiene products, canned goods, and protein drinks probably. And yeah, so please come to that.
Yeah. And any non-refrigerated milk, almond milk, whatever you can find. And any extras that we get from our food drive will be going straight to the ICA. So we would love as many donations as possible.
So we can fill up our cars.
Yeah. Exactly. Fill up your car, bring it all.
To the high school, right in front of the Arts Center.
Yes.
10 to 1 on Saturday, November 22nd.
Yes. And there should be posters kind of telling you where to go to.
As we close, I want to thank each one of you for the ways that you serve our community. And to our listeners, thank you for joining us. We'll see you on the next episode of Ahoy Minnetonka.